What's going on, people? It's your boy SB or Sosa Bennett here, and today I've got a deck profile. I would be showing you this deck profile in real life, but I do not have a good enough camera to do that, so I do apologize for that. But I'll be showing you on Yugioh. I do hope that that is okay because a few people have been asking me about the Shiranuis. I'm going to be mentioning as well beforehand, I own all of these cards in real life. I do not have a Psyframe Lord Omega, but I do say that this deck is highly playable even without the Psyframe Lord Omega. But if you do have a Psyframe Lord Omega, please chuck it in because it will just make this deck absolutely amazing. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the deck. So Shiranui is, in my opinion, in this current format, one of the most fun decks to play that's extremely strong to play, and I'm going to go over why. This will be relatively in-depth, so without further ado, let's go into this. So firstly, you want to be playing 3 Shiranui Solitaires, and the Solitaire is an extremely important card, because what it does is it allows you to tribute it. You can tribute itself in order to summon your Uni-Zombie, and your Uni-Zombie is the most important card out of, I think, well, I'll say the most important card. So this basically is a search and summon, but it's all very situational. If you want to be able to summon a level 2 tuner, like a Spectral Sword or a Plague Spreader, then you can do that. Like, it's all zombie oriented, so that's why I like Solitaire. You want to be playing 3 of these because this just allows you to tribute and then search. But when it gets banished, it even has a nice effect as well. Like, you can special summon a, a banished Shiranui monster. So it can be like a banished Shiranui Spirit Master, Shogun Saga, all these sort of monsters, and you can just special summon those straight away. I think this is really, really strong, and I like this effect. Next up, you want to play 2 Shiranui Spectral Swords. I do not like this card at 3. I have tried it, but it does force you to brick. The reason why I like this card is because you send it into the graveyard with, say, the Uni-Zombie effect, the next turn, you can banish this card and another zombie type from your a zombie type from, well, is it another zombie? Yeah, another zombie type from your graveyard in order to go into a synchro. And in this case, it'll probably be something like a Samurai Saga, which again is very, very strong. And to be fair, like, with this effect, getting a free synchro summon, well, not free, but by banishing to summon a synchro monster is extremely good, because if you banish the Shiranui Spirit Master with this, the Spirit Master's effect will kick in and allow you to destroy one of your opponent's monsters. So not only are you summoning, you're also letting other Shiranui monsters' effect kick off, which is so, so good. You want to be playing 3 Spirit Masters. Now, Spirit Master is an extremely important card because what it does is it allows you to special summon another Shiranui monster from your hand. So this can be something like a Spectral Sword or even a Shiranui Solitaire, which what it does is, like, you can just special summon that out, either go into a level 6 synchro play or summon a Solitaire, which can be tributed for a Uni-Zombie in order to go into a different play. Whatever you want, it's really, really good. And then when it gets banished, it also allows you to destroy a monster, which is really, really good as well. And we want to be playing 1 Samurai Saga. And the reason why I like Samurai Saga is because it just allows you to bring back a Shiranui monster from your graveyard to your hand, which we really want because we don't want our Shiranui monsters just lying around in the graveyard for ages if they can't get banished. So you want to really be able to bring those back to our hands and reuse them again. So I really like Shiranui Samurai. Next up, we want to play Shiranui Smith. This card is not bad. Not exactly the greatest, but what it just does is it just kind of protects one of your Shiranui monsters. And we kind of want as much protection as possible because we're not really playing cards that can truly defend our Shiranuis all the time. Even though if it get destroyed, it's not really the biggest problem. But we want to really be able to try and get a little bit of protection there. So we want to be playing afterwards 3 Mizukis. And Mizuki's the most important graveyard card, because what it allows you to do is banish itself in order to special summon another zombie type from the graveyard, which is really good. We want that. We want to be able to summon our zombies from the graveyard. When it gets banished, sure, it's quite annoying to get it back, but if you have Psyframe Lord Omega, you can just chuck it, get it back into the graveyard afterwards. And oh, don't know what happened there. And that's what we kind of want. We kind of want that. We want to be able to get our Mizukis back into the graveyard, which is just really, really good. So we want to be making sure these are in our graveyard as much as possible. And the way we're going to try and do that is by using this bugger here. We're going to be using Unizombie, and Unizombie is extremely good. Like, we want to be using Unizombie for the main reason that it's a tuner monster. But the reason why we want to be using this tuner is because it can change its level. And that is what we want, and that's by sending a monster from a zombie monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And you can do this up to 2 times per turn. Well, not 2 times. You can use one of each effect once per turn. So you can use its discard effect, send to graveyard, and target itself to increase the level by 1. And you can also send a deck card from your deck to the graveyard and increase its level by 1. So you can use both effects once per turn. We really want that because we can go into some really nice synchro plays. So you want to be playing 3 of these because we want our deck to be as good and consistent as possible. And usually what you want to do is be dumping the Mizukis to the graveyard. But if your Mizukis aren't in the graveyard, another card to send is of course the Spectral Sword, because the Spectral Sword, although next turn you'll have to make the play next turn, it's still good just to have in the graveyard just so you can use it. So if you can discard a Spectral Sword and send a Mizuki to the graveyard, it's really, really strong. Again, we don't really want to be opening the Mizuki's first turn. It's really trash to open it up because it's bloody useless in your hand, but we really want it in the graveyard so we can use its effect. And the same thing with Unizombie. We want to be summoning this, we want this in our hand. We want to open this card as much as possible. But this is why we use Solitaire as well, because Solitaire just allows us, if you open the Solitaire first turn, you can just get a Unizombie out first turn, which again is really strong. You want to be playing 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. I tried playing 2. It's okay to play at 2, but I do find it's just a bit better to play it at 1, just because, you know, it just allows you to special summon it from the graveyard, which again is very, very strong. And if you open it in your hand and you have like a Unizombie, you just dump it to the graveyard, and then you can use its effects whenever you want. Next up, we want to be playing 1 Zombie Master. This card is good, but you don't want to open it because it's a card that you kind of want to you want to be opening later on in the game, because what it's going to be doing is just going to be allow you to discard any monster. So it can either be like a Fairy Tale Snow or a Trick Clown to your graveyard, and then just allow you to special summon out a zombie from your graveyard. But it has to be level 4 or lower. But this just allows us to reuse these Unizombies, actually, because what the Zombie Master will do is just allow you to discard a monster. So you can discard like a Spectral Sword, Mizuki, which is good, anything really, and just to summon out a Unizombie, just to go into another synchro play. So it's really, really good. Because this is Brilliant Fusion, we are using Gem Knight Lapis. I do not like using Garnet. Garnet is level 4, I know that is good, but the reason why I use Lapis is because if you open this card and you have a Unizombie or something, then you can just use this for a synchro play instead. Because we don't want this card in our hand, we do want it in our deck so we can kick off Brilliant Fusion. We are using Fairy Tale Snow because it's Fairy Tale Snow and the card is absolutely just brilliant. It's really, really good. And we're using 1 Trick Clown just so... Oh, why do I keep doing that? Excuse me for that, that is very annoying. We are using 1 Trick Clown just for more graveyard potential. Very, very good. And we want to be using 1 Summoner Monk. I only like playing this card at 1 for the main reason that if you play it at 2, it can kind of break your hand sometimes. And the main reason for this is because we are playing Brilliant Fusion. You're only really going to make 1 Brilliant Fusion play per duel, and you're really only going to play 1 Instant Fusion play per duel. And this is what happens if you have dead cards as well. Like if you have like a Book of Life first turn and a Gold Sark first turn, we don't want that at all. So we want to be playing 1 Summoner Monk just so we can special summon out something good like a Sage, a Solitaire, or a Unizombie. So just very, very strong plays there, and it just really just gets rid of the dead cards that are in your hand. We want to be playing 1 Book of Life. This card is good because you can just special summon a zombie type from your graveyard and banish 1 card from your opponent's graveyard. So it's really, really strong. We don't want to open this card, but we want to see it maybe about mid-game, because that way we can just special summon a zombie type from our graveyard, which is really strong. We want to be playing 2 instant fusions for Norden, of course. The card is very strong, Norden. Don't really need to say much about that. We want to play 1 Foolish Burial so we can dump something like the Mizuki or a Plague Spreader to the graveyard. Very good card. We want to be playing 1 Burial from a different dimension just so we can send some banished cards back to the graveyard. So really good card. 1 pot of Acquisitiveness. This card is arguable because I know loads of people don't like playing them. But the reason why we want to be playing 1 pot of Acquisitiveness is just so we can just get those monsters back in the deck and then draw a card out of it. So very strong. We want to be playing 1 Gold Sark because you can use this. Banish. It's mainly just to do with the Spirit Master. Like, you want to use the Gold Sark to banish the Spirit Master and then destroy 1 card on your opponent's side of the field. Which is just really strong. And we want to be playing double Twin Twister because it's Twin Twister, not really much to say. 1 Soul Charge, 1 Upstart Goblin for a little bit more consistency, and then we want to be playing for trap cards, Shiranui style Swallow Slash. And the reason why I like playing this is because with this you can literally destroy up to 3 face-up cards on, wait, is it 2 cards on 3 cards on your opponent's side of the field, like literally. And no, it says 2 cards on the field, but I'm going to explain why. Swallow Slash, what you want to do is of course to tribute 1 of your zombies. In this case it can be something like Shogun Saga, anything really, and then destroy 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. Then you have to banish a Shiranui monster, and this is where we want to banish the Shiranui Spirit Master, because the Spirit Master will allow us to destroy a monster on our side of the field, on their side of the field, which is really good because you can now destroy 3 monsters, which is absolutely amazing. Next up, you're going to be playing 1 Solemn Warning because it's Solemn Warning. Of course, we want to be playing 2 Shogun Saga because Shogun Saga just allows us to banish a zombie from our deck, our graveyard, to increase its attack points temporarily. And then when it goes to the graveyard, you can target 1 banished zombie and then send it back to the graveyard. So we can be sending something like a Spectral Sword back to the graveyard. So it's really good. I want to be playing 1 Samurai Saga. The reason why I play this at 2 and not 1 is just because you can target 1 banish zombie type and then send it to the graveyard, send it to the deck, which I really like. And you can just, like, when it gets banished after you say use Shogun Saga's effect, after you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and let it lose 500, which is pretty decent. We're going to be playing 1 Clear Wing because it's a good level 7 synchro. We're going to be playing Crystal Wing because it's Crystal Wing and Crystal Wing is very good. 1 Black Rose Moonlight, 1 Black Rose Dragon, just so we can clear the field if this is a bit too stupid. 1 Michael because we are playing Fairy Tale Snow. 1 Seraphonite because we are playing Brilliant Fusion. We want that additional special summon. We're playing Norden just so we can special summon back another monster. Another monster from our graveyard. In this case, it can be a Uni Zombie if you want to go into an instant synchro play, or just something like a Solitaire to go into a rank 4 play. 1 Castel because it's Castel. 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia Ray, and 1 Utopia Lightning. Utopia Lightning is extremely strong, and that's why we're playing this. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. You have enjoyed this deck profile for my opinion on a good way to play Shiranuis. I do apologize again for not being able to show my to not using a camera for this because my camera's kind of shit. But anyway, if you enjoy this, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment below. I will be making some more videos, and this will probably be a top 5 list on boring decks to come up against. If you'd like to see that, please put that in the comment section below. And anyway, it's been your boy SB.